as a data frame in Python, in Jupyter rather. Okay, so the next thing is obviously, because I mean we just want to identify missing values in this particular data frame. So how we do that is we're going to use a function called isNA, which is going to give us where we have the missing values, and I'm going to do that. Then I'm just going to go the df dot isNA. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum those missing values. And I'm going to run that. And from these results here, it's just showing. So basically, what this is showing, it's just showing all the columns that have missing values. Just like I showed you last week when I used in Excel, when I used the formula count blank. So now in Python, how I do that is I use isNA, which shows the columns which have the missing values. So this is this is like a quicker way of detecting where the missing values are. So I just know now that the column that has missing values is the risk of attrition, which is 14, as well as the employee set, which is 22. So the next step, again, from last week, again, building up from last week, is you want to understand, in a column, you want to understand how many missing values there are. So, and you want to and how you do that, you want to convert the count into a proportion. Remember, like I said last week, if your percentage of missing values is 30% or more, then the option is to drop that column. But if it's less than that, then there are other measures that are in place that to impute those missing values. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to convert this count into a proportion to get the percentage, because I mean for here I've got 14 missing values. What is the percentage? Is it 30% or is it less than that? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go DataFrame dot isNA, go like that. That's then I'm going to divide that by the data frame count, and I'm just multiply that by multiply that by 100. Data frame sum. Cool. So basically, what that shows me again is the percentage of these missing values, and we can see for risk attrition we've got 2.06%, and for employee SAT we've got 3.27, which are both under the 30%. So as such, if it's under 30%, we use the process of imputing. So when dealing with non-categorical data, how you treat such, you use the average, the mean, as well as the median. If it's categorical data, you use the mode, just checking how many times something appears. Okay, so now, one way I'm just gonna take you through, the imputation process, with missing data. And for that, and for that, we should not damage we should not damage our data. So as such, we're going to create a new data frame, and I'm going to introduce a new thing called drop NA, where we are dropping all the NAs. I'm just going to create a new data frame called DataFrame1 equals to the original data frame. And then I'm going to go dot drop NA, which means that we're dropping all the missing values, or rather the blanks. Then you go like that, and then I go enter. And then from there, we check if if the NAs are indeed dropped. So how we do that, we're gonna go data frame 1, which is the data frame that I just created now, and then I'll go dot is NA some okay. So from running that line of code, I can see that every column, I've got 0 for every column, which means that there are no missing values, which means that I've dropped these missing values. And from there, the next step, for instance, you might want to fill in, as opposed to dropping these missing values. The other alternative might be to add zeros to these blanks, or rather to these missing values. Please stop me if you have a question. Okay, so for this particular part, we will be using the employee employee set, since it was one of the columns that had missing values. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go data frame 1 and then equals data frame. Then go like this, and then to just call that particular column. B D. And go data frame. Please ask questions if you're not getting what I'm doing. Data frame 1 dot fill and A 0. So basically, yeah, I'm filling all the missing values in employee dot SAT. Sorry. With zeros. So then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put data frame 1 and that. And then from that, you can see again that there aren't any missing values. From what I've printed, there are some values which are not showing here, but those values those blanks rather have been replaced by zeros. Okay, so now the next step is to sum, to sum this data frame 1, which I've created, to find out if there are any missing values in this column. So how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to go data frame 1 dot is an A dot sum G. Yeah. So it's returning it's returning a 0 because there aren't any blanks in data frame 1. So all the blanks have been replaced by a 0. So now the next step. So I mean, so far I've just showed you dropping a column. I've showed you replacing the blank value with 0. So now